Have you ever walked into a room and felt the weight of every gaze on you? People watch, judge, analyze. They want to size you up. But here's the thing. They aren't waiting for what you'll say. No, they're waiting to see how you'll make them feel. And if you're smart, if you're disciplined, you'll make them feel fear. Not the loud kind, the quiet kind. The kind of fear that creeps in when they can't predict you, when they can't understand you. That's real power, and you won't need to raise your voice, make threats, or beg for attention. You won't need to utter a single word, because silence, when wielded correctly, is a weapon sharper than any blade. Why words are for the weak? Most people think power comes from being loud, from dominating conversations, from controlling the narrative. But words are cheap. Anyone can talk. In fact, the more someone talks, the more they reveal their insecurities, their weaknesses, their desperate need for validation. They bleed through every word. Think about it. How many times have you opened your mouth only to regret it later? How many times have you explained yourself, justified your actions, only to realize it didn't change a thing? That's because words give away your power. They give people ammunition to twist your meaning, to control you. But silence? Silence leaves them with nothing. No foothold, no leverage. Just empty space. And that space, it terrifies them. The power of silence, a story. Let me tell you about a man I once knew. He wasn't big. He wasn't loud. But when he entered a room, the air changed. Conversation stopped. People shifted uncomfortably. He didn't need to say a word. His presence said everything. People were afraid of him not because he was violent or cruel, but because he was unreadable. He didn't explain himself. He didn't react. He just was. And that was enough to send shivers down spines. You see, he understood something most people never will. Silence is louder than any shout. When you stay quiet, people fill in the blanks with their own fears. They project their insecurities onto you, and the less you give them, the more their imaginations run wild. Why they fear the quiet silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to sit with their thoughts, with their doubts. It makes them wonder what you're thinking, what you're planning. And that's where your power lies, in the unknown. People fear what they don't understand. They crave control, predictability. But when you stand there, silent and still, you strip the control from them. They'll start to fidget, to stammer, to talk more just to fill the void. And the more they talk, the weaker they become. How to master the art of silence? Mastering silence isn't easy. It takes discipline, strength. Because the truth is, you'll want to speak. You'll want to defend yourself, to explain, to react. But you must resist. Here's how you do it. 1. Control your face. Keep your expression neutral. No smile, no frown. Just blank. Let them wonder what's going on inside your head. 2. Control your body. Stand tall, shoulders back, but relaxed. Don't fidget. Don't move unless you have to. Your stillness will be unnerving. 3. Control your breathing. Slow it down. Deep breaths. Calm, controlled. Make it clear you're not rattled, not nervous. You're in control. When they push you, you stay calm. When they insult you, you don't flinch. When they try to provoke you, you don't react. Because the moment you react, they win. But if you stay silent, they'll unravel. The strength of stillness. Think of a mountain in the middle of a storm. The wind howls, the rain pounds, but the mountain doesn't move. It doesn't flinch. It just stands there, solid, unshaken. That's who you're going to be. People will try to break you. They'll hurl insults, threats, even try to humiliate you. But you'll stand there, quiet, calm, letting the storm rage around you. And when it's over, when they've exhausted themselves, you'll still be standing. Silence is a weapon. Silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's a weapon. It cuts deeper than any insult, any blow, because it forces people to confront their own fears, their own insecurities. Have you ever noticed how people talk more when they're nervous? It's because they can't handle the silence. They need noise, distraction. But when you give them nothing, when you let the silence stretch on, they'll start to unravel. And that's when you've won. Not by arguing, not by fighting, but by letting them destroy themselves. When silence speaks louder than words, imagine this: you walk into a room and everything stops. The air gets heavier. The room goes quiet. Every eye is on you, but you say nothing. You don't need to. Your presence says it all. They'll remember you. Long after you've left, they'll still be talking about you. Not because of what you said, but because of what you didn't say. That's real power. Discipline over emotion. Make no mistake, this won't be easy. You'll want to react. You'll want to defend yourself. But every time you feel that urge, remember this: silence is strength. Every time you stay quiet, you're building power. Every time you refuse to engage, you're making them weaker. Let them talk. Let them try to provoke you. You won't rise to their level. You're above it. The fear you'll leave behind when you leave the room, they'll feel it, the absence of your presence. And that's when the fear sets in. They'll wonder what you were thinking, what you were planning. And the best part, they'll never know. Because you don't need to explain yourself. You don't need to justify your existence. Your silence is all the proof they need. Finally, be the mountain, so stop talking. Stop reacting. Stop explaining. Be the mountain in the storm. Be the silence they fear. Because when they realize they can't break you, can't control you, can't get inside your head, they'll fear you. And you won't have to utter a single word.